To learn about the off-grid lifestyle and to be inspired to live your dreams, click subscribe so you don't miss anything. Hit the bell notification. So I thought I'd come up here and talk a little bit about the tiny house, get back on track of that a little bit. It seems as though the government is putting a stop to us building the tiny house. And I'll get into that a little bit later in the video. Thought I'd give you a little bit of history, what's going on, some explanation, what we've done. I know a lot of people are very disappointed that we haven't spent more time building the tiny house. And I just don't understand what the big hurry is. I've said 10 months, it has not been 10 months, and even if we go past the 10 months, I'm not that disappointed considering all the things that have happened this year with the virus and the lockdowns and the inflation, and I lost some employment there for a couple months. But anytime someone says, I think you need to get it done before winter, I always reply back in the comment section, I will be more than happy to do it if you want to pay for it. And it seems as though they never reply back. I don't know why. Fact of the matter is, it's going to cost 4 times the amount to build the tiny house if we started right now. Just went over to the local lumber store about 2 days ago. And I said, hey, what's your prices for 2x6s, 8-foot 2x6s? And he says, $16.95 per board. Now think about this. 3 or 4 months ago, 2x6s were running about $4 a board, maybe $3. And plywood's been the same way. OSB, I think Carolyn just looked up the other day. OSB is the material we're using for the wall. $23 per sheet. And again, I think those were somewhere around $8 a sheet a few months ago. That being said, we're still under budget. And why? Because we're not in a hurry to get it done before winter. We've been very cautious on how we're spending money, and as a result, we're going to have a huge financial savings. I've said this in the past. If you got a loan to build a house before the virus, let's say you got $100,000, okay? You get 6 months to build it. Well, I'm sure the banks, gave me an extension, and then after the virus, after the lockdown, they came back and they had to buy more material. Well, now the material's 4 times the amount. Do you think the bank is just going to give you 4 times the amount? Yeah, Carolyn and I are still progressing along quite well. We're making progress, and we're still under budget. Our budget was $5,000 to build our 16-foot by 12-foot tiny house. And we did it on an existing trailer frame. So how are we under budget? Well, because Carolyn's just a very thrifty shopper. The floor itself, what we did was we recycled a lot of material. We recycled the 2x4s that came off the mobile home. See, you gotta remember, we cleaned all this mobile home up and it went all the way to the edge of the property there, somewhere right over there. And we was able to recycle the 2x4s that came off the floor. They were still in really good shape, at least a lot of them were, enough that we could use to build our floor. So we got our floor joist put on, and then we got the plywood put on and insulation. If I'm not mistaken, I don't know, it was somewhere around maybe $300, $400, somewhere around there to get the floor done. So way under budget. Then the material costs went way up. Now, the other thing that I was concerned about was windows. Windows were going to be $90 a piece for small windows. Carolyn went on the hunt for windows and doors. Doors were going to be expensive also. Doors was going to be, the cheapest door Lowe's had was $175, $95 or something like that. Well, Carolyn was able to find these windows at reduced cost. She found like 2 of them for 40 bucks, another one for 50 bucks, I think. And she got the door for 40 bucks. She got a storm door here for 40 bucks. Massive cost savings. I think we said, if I recall, it was a $700 cost savings. Well, then she found the OSB material for the walls, and she found a good deal on that. Some guy was selling them on Facebook Marketplace. And so the OSB was going, like I said, $23 a sheet. And we got it for, I think, $8 a sheet. And then she found brand new insulation. It was from a guy. He just bought too much, was moving, wanted to sell it. And she got that half price. It was $80 a roll, and she got it for $40 a roll. So now we're in a holding pattern, because the biggest price items right now is 2x6s, which is what we're using for the walls, and 2x4s, which is what we're going to use for the roof. Now, I have not priced 2x4s, I'll be honest, haven't even looked into it yet, but 2x6s I've been looking into. Now, when I bought these 2x6s here for this one wall, so I think that was a month ago we got that, and we got them for $12 a board. Remember, they were $4 a board. Well, since then, they went from $12 to almost $17. Now, if you go to Home Depot, they're selling that same board for, I think, $14. They are selling stud size boards. I bought 8-foot boards because I wanted a little extra height, but they're selling stud size for a reasonable price, I think around 6 feet. So I thought about maybe buying some studs, figuring out how to add on a little extra material, maybe put some OSB on top of it. You know, extra work, extra thinking, extra math, extra room for error. Well, Carolyn found some 2x6s at Lowe's. 8-foot for $6, almost $7. So, you know, still more expensive than the original $4. But we're going to go tomorrow and we're going to pick those up. And they're running out. The other day she looked and there was like 250 boards. Well, this morning we looked and there were 143. Now, I wanted to spend $500 a month. We're way over on that because Carolyn bought all this stuff. So, you know, we're going to have to recoup our money. Well, now we got these 2x6s. I'm afraid that if we don't get them now, we'll never get them. So we're going to go down there tomorrow. We're going to check before we leave, of course, make sure they still have them. We're going to get there before they open. So that's the plan. And we're pretty excited about it, that we finally found some that's reasonably priced. Don't know how that happened, but it's what we need. So we might be able to get started building a tiny house again. But I want to talk to you about this. This is crazy. The official reason, what you're seeing on the newspapers, and as to why there is a lumber shortage and why the prices are skyrocketing, supply and demand, that's what they're saying. There's little supply, high demand. What they're saying is the hardware stores were considered critical business during the shutdown. So all the DIYers went out and bought all kinds of lumber. Well, now the lumber mills, not the loggers, not the people who cut the trees down, but the people who cut the trees into lumber, were not considered critical business. But here's the thing. A lot of folks in my comment section are saying, wait a minute, I still work. I've been working at a timber mill for, years, and we're just swamped with work, and it's coming down from Canada. There's plenty of lumber. What are you talking about? Nobody's out of lumber, but yet the prices are skyrocketing. So why is it that I'm being told one thing in the newspapers and I'm being told another thing in the comment section? Well, I met a contractor in town just the other day. We were in the cash register line, and he was talking to the guy in front of him. I guess he knew him, and he was talking about how prices have went up. And I asked him, I said, why do you think the prices are up, and when do you think they're going to come down? And he says, because of the election. He says, that's the absolute answer. And, you know, I wonder, is that the answer? Right now, there's such a distaste going on that this guy suspects, or at least has some evidence or knowledge or whatever, that the government is forcing price checks, price points. I don't know how they could possibly control the price on this, but it appears that once the election is over, prices probably are going to come back down. I really think that there's a lot of things going on that we don't understand right now. So, but I'm going to get busy here in a couple days, getting back to work on things, and we're still saving a ton of money. Thanks for watching.